Why do we call the health savings account a super Roth? We call it a super Roth because the money that you put in has never been taxed. And the money that you take out is not going to be taxed as long as it's used for a qualifying medical expense. That's a big deal. Now, I see people that have the ability to have a health savings account and they don't. And the reason is they're thinking of it like the flex savings account. The flex savings account is that account where you have to use the money that year that you put it in, or you will lose the money. The health savings account does not work that way. When you contribute money to a health savings account, it is your money, it belongs to you, and it will remain in that account until the day that you end up using it. That could be all the way in retirement. So it is an account that you are able to keep. If you change jobs, it's yours, it's vested, it goes with you. When you retire, it's yours, it's vested, it goes with you into retirement. So to build up a health savings account and have a bucket of money that is there to pay for medical expenses in retirement makes a lot of sense. Now, once you have set up a health savings account, you can reimburse yourself for any of those qualifying medical expenses, but you can also save those expenses and reimburse yourself later. That is another big deal that people sometimes don't realize or understand. You set up a health savings account, you have certain medical expenses that you can afford to pay out of pocket. You're working, you can afford to pay them. You go ahead and pay them out of pocket, and you save the receipts and the proof that those are out of pocket expenses. And later, when you're in retirement, you can reimburse yourself at that point in time. That allows you to have additional years of tax-free growth on those contributions in order to build up that health savings account. It also allows you to have money that you can pull out of the health savings account in retirement with no taxes. So that is another big deal to know. Now, your qualifying medical expenses are any of those expenses that could be deducted on your Schedule A as an itemized deduction. So the list is long, but that can include doctor's bills, hospital bills, prescription medicines, dental care, vision care, prescription supplies, anything that could be deducted on your Schedule A is a qualifying medical expense for your health savings account. Now, it's important to think through being able to deduct those medical expenses as an itemized deduction versus having the tax-free funds to pay for it. Let's say that in retirement, your adjusted gross income is $100,000. You cannot deduct the first 7.5% of $100,000. You cannot deduct the first $7,500 of medical expenses. If you had $8,000 of medical expenses, your deduction would be limited to $500, the difference between that 7.5% and the amount that you spent. If instead you have a health savings account that you've built up and you could pull money out tax-free to pay for those expenses, that could be a bigger tax advantage to you in retirement because it can keep your income lower as you're needing to possibly pay some higher medical expenses in certain years. Maybe you need to have cataract eye surgery, or you need to have dental work, or whatever the case may be, and you're doing some things that are not covered by Medicare or by your Medigap plan because you're wanting to have a little bit higher level of care in that. So having that health savings account can benefit you in retirement. Your health savings account can also be used for your spouse, even if they're not on your high deductible health plan. You can use the health savings account for your spouse, married filing jointly. It can apply. The funds can be used for either of you. And you can also leave your health savings account to your spouse. So if you pass away first and your spouse inherits that health savings account, then at the point in time that they take it over, it becomes just as if it were theirs. They can use it for their own medical expenses. It will cover medical expenses tax-free, same as it would have for you. And that could also be a big benefit for your spouse. So that in a nutshell are some of the reasons that health savings accounts are considered a super Roth and why you might want to think about having one when you enter retirement. I hope that was helpful. Again, if there's anything that we can answer for you, let us know, because we would love to answer the questions that are top of your mind. We are here to help you be on your best path for retirement.